Hi, I'm Ed LaFlamme, head harvester from the East Coast. Welcome to our leadership series. I think you're going to really enjoy some of the answers to the questions coming up.
After operating my landscape business for 20 years, I'd always been in marketing my entire career, but right about when I was selling that business in 2008, which was when social media was really beginning to get some traction, and it was something that just for whatever reason just kind of fit in my brain. And so I've been there for, what is it now, almost a decade. I started blogging in 2006. Social media came along and they all kind of worked together. And so you're asking about some tips and what I would recommend people do. Kind of equip yourself to be ready for the next thing, because there will always be changes. And don't jump into the next thing, but build that foundation. Number one is buyer persona or an audience persona. Write down in detail what your ideal buyer is. What is their lifestyle? What language do they use? What do they like or don't like? Even down to their political preferences, what you think those are. Build that buyer persona, because that helps you to create content that is just right for them. This is something for me personally. I've been working in a dozen different verticals for the last decade, but when I refocused with Landscape Digital Institute to focus on this industry only that I know well, I cannot tell you how much easier it's been to create content, because I'm not writing for this faceless audience. I'm writing for people that I know and I see every day. So that's number one, is the buyer persona. That's them. You got to understand your buyer. Number two is you. How can you help them? And you should not be, again, trying to go too wide, but really focus in on what are your capabilities, and understanding that the narrower you go, the better you are going to be likely to carve out a niche. I'm not even sure I like to call it a niche, but basically a differentiation in your market. Look at the competition. What are they doing that they're not doing well? What are they not doing? And that doesn't mean you have to drop certain things you were doing, but really focus and become known for something. You have to stand out. It takes some guts to do that. But even when I said I'm focused on the landscape industry now, I knew that that would confuse a lot of my former audiences, and that's okay. Hopefully they don't run away, but if they do, here I am, and this is where I intend to be. And then finally, the last tip, if you've been doing any kind of digital marketing for a while, inventory that content. Do a content audit. Start wherever you can start. If you want to go back, you'll eventually have to go backward, but you can take the content that's worked for you to get you here and make it better. You don't have to keep creating a lot of new content. All you have to do really is take what's worked, refresh it, make it better, but you can only do that if you know what the headlines are, where that content resides with URLs, who authored it, if there's any rights out there to people that you've syndicated it to, and so forth. So basically, I see a lot of contractors have so much trouble with their websites. One is, I don't think they understand the audience very well. Number two is, I don't think they understand how they can help them. And then the third point is, their content's all over the place. Organize it, compress it, condense it, move forward, make everything better.
What would you think? Some really good answers to those questions, weren't they? I hope you can use them in your business and apply them right away. We're hoping that you can use these to harvest your potential.